Hey, welcome back to our art mashup challenge, and in this series we'll be doing a combination of anime and RPG games. So if you're new to this channel, I'm Miguel.
And I'm Michelle.
And we're both brother and sister artists who do these mashup challenges, and we do different series depending on the theme. So I use the Samsung Galaxy S6, and the program I use is Autodesk.
And I use Apple iPad, and the program I'll be using is Procreate.
Okay, so what we do here is we draw two random characters. So in this series we have two bowls because we're mashing up a section of anime characters with RPG characters. So on Michelle's side will be anime and my side is RPGs.
Not looking yet.
So who wants to go first?
Well, you kind of dipped your hand in already, so
Okay, I'll start.
Take ownership on that.
Okay.
So Miguel is drawing from the RPG bowl, and we have no idea what these characters are going to be and how they're going to be mashed up, so...
Well, fate has spoken, and I got Mega Man.
Mega Man?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Mega Man. For those of you who are nostalgic, this is a very popular character, so I'm pretty excited. So on Michelle's side, she's going to draw a random anime character.
This one... It's Kusanagi.
Ooh, Kusanagi. That's the main character from Ghost in the Shell.
Okay,
yeah.
So these are two characters that I did not really grow up with. So Miguel is really old, if you guys couldn't tell.
Yeah, I'm familiar with most of these characters, so we'll...
Cool.
Yeah, I will go ahead and talk about them. And for those of you who are no idea who these characters are, well, this is an opportunity to learn about this side of pop culture. Let's get started.
Okie dokie.
So, I know you're not familiar with Mega Man, right?
Just a little bit. I recognize as I was looking up Google, I definitely recognize the character. And it's such a typical name that I don't want to admit, like, I obviously know Mega Man because it's like, I didn't really grow up with him. But yeah. I think now because there are animated films, maybe the latest I knew about it is like back in 2018. So they really keep updated with the franchise. But it came out in like, what, the 80s?
Yeah, so it came out from... So it's made by Capcom, and during that time, both Marvel and Capcom in the 80s and 90s, they had a special relationship, because I think in the 80s was when anime and like Japanese products in general, they started broadcasting overseas, and that was, I think, like the first generation of people outside of Japan watching anime. Or even before that, I think all of Asia and Southeast Asia were exposed to anime. Like, I know my dad and his generation, he grew up watching Astro Boy. Mm-hmm. So Mega Man is basically an 80s Astro Boy of my generation. And yeah, the names are pretty obvious. Like, he's like a boy, but boy was used where Astro Boys, they use man, like Mega Man. He's like a super man person who can shoot energy bolts from his arm. And similar to Astro Boy, he's like an experiment. Mm-hmm. So that was during a time when in a lot of anime stories, it's about human existence, the question of human existence and technology. Same thing with Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell came out as a manga, but wasn't adapted until the 1990s. Mm-hmm. So that was my generation. And Ghost in the Shell is, of course, what inspired The Matrix for you nerds out there. Totally different storyline, but I think what Ghost in the Shell and Matrix have in common is, again, the nature of human existence and identity.
You know, I'm curious, but it sounds to me like this concept of like these machine half-boy characters, they kind of remind me of Pinocchio, and I'm wondering if it's like inspired by Disney Pinocchio, that concept of a boy, like an animate boy-like object wants to become a real boy kind of thing, and I wonder if the Japanese took inspiration from that?
I think that's a stretch, but you could argue that that's like a very universal idea. What's interesting is that you can compare Mega Man to Iron Man. So here's the thing. So you know how in Avengers Age of Ultron, they played the theme from Pinocchio? Like, I have no strings to hold me back. You could say that's the same idea, because Vision is kind of like a Ghost in the Shell kind of deal. So yeah, that's... yeah.
All these connections.
Yeah, it's a small world. Everything is connected, man. Yeah.
But I guess because it's all exploring this relationship of man and machine, or man versus nature kind of trope.
They all seem to have that. Like, I would even argue that, I was gonna say, but yeah, I think I covered all that.
This would be a really bad stretch of a connection, but you know how, like, Scarlett Johansson was the Black Widow, and you brought up Age of Ultron?
So they made a live action, and she became an actress for the live action
for
Ghost in the
Ghost
Shell.
in the Shell, and guess how we just talked about that? Is it starting to connect?
Yeah, it's so meta, because now people are talking about, oh, you know, she doesn't represent, you know, Japanese people, blah blah blah, because it's whitewashing. But see, her real self was an Asian person, so it's like, whoa, does that mean that our whole idea of Kusanagi was also like an illusion because the soul has no race? Or anyway, that's like really, really deep. But yeah, it's really interesting. I think what's really cool about Capcom and their creations is they have a special relationship with Marvel, and they've been collaborating since forever. That's why you have Marvel versus Capcom games. And speaking of art, it's interesting seeing the characters, Marvel characters designed by Capcom artists. So it's really cute. It's like how similar are their styles? Because like Spider-Man, I remember growing up playing the first Marvel versus Capcom, and it's like, why do these Marvel characters look Asian? And I realized, oh, it's the style. So it's interesting how it kind of blends together. I really enjoy doing these characters because I grew up with them, but I never had a chance to draw them as much. And
comment down below how old you think Miguel is.
Yeah.
Alright, well,
so I'm pretty finished already.
Yeah, me too. So I'm just gonna... Don't forget to sign! Okie dokie. Ready for the reveal.
Here we go. Okay.
There's nothing.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh, okay. So you took the approach of keeping with the traditional Kusanagi style.
I basically gave her a Mega Man alternative costume.
Like a different skin.
Yeah, just a different skin. a DLC skin.
A DLC skin. Only available with eDraw.
I like your little chibi Kusanagi combined with Mega Man. I like your cute approach to it. So it's like a Mega Man has a Kusanagi alternative skin. Yeah, that's really cute.
I think it's cool that I really thought you were gonna use your own style, which is like it tends to lend on itself to like the anime realistic style.
The cape makes it kind of magical girly, but at the same time, I get the reference, so it makes sense to me. I don't know about others who... I mean, I like to think that Ghost in the Shell is a very influential anime masterpiece that I would hope most anime fans recognize, so comment down below what you think of our mashups.
Don't forget to boop that subscribe button and also boop that notification bell so you can see more videos like this one.
Yeah, and we'll have more episodes coming up, so stay tuned.
Alright, well, we'll see you later. Bye!